Okay, so I just wanted to do a quick live to go over why I think that flight deals are necessary, important, especially when you're doing international travel. There are so many things that come up during international travels that like. I thought about it, but like once I started adding it up, I'm like, this actually costs more than my flight. So that's why it's important to look for flight deals. If you don't know how to look for flight deals, definitely check out my website. You go to workhardtravel.com/freebie, and I talk about like where the best places for finding flight deals. So an example, we came across a flight deal in November of last year where um, the flight price from Atlanta to Paris was like $700, or you could use 150, or what was it, like 150,000 points or something around there on Delta. And I'm like, $700 is a good deal for a flight to Paris. And we ended up changing the flight from Paris to go to Kenya and adding that on. So we actually paid for the flight with points. So it was like 75,000 points or either $700. And we ended up paying for the points. And then the flight to change it from Paris to Kenya was like 200 some dollars. So, and all in all, the flight to Kenya is gonna, it costs 75,000 points plus like 250 from Atlanta to Kenya, which is going to be on Delta, so it's going to be great. So I just told you the flight was basically $250, and then points. So you got to take that math. And as I started to peel back the cost to get into Kenya, whenever you go out of the country, you need to check to see if there's visa requirements and what those costs are. I knew there were visa requirements, so I had already factored that in. But visas, vaccinations, all that stuff is going to cost more than the flight. So that's why I say flight deals are important, because it helps you so you don't have to like burn through your money so quickly, and then you can take additional trips. So like you don't want this trip to like take a lot out of you if you can find a flight deal on the front end. So let's see. And let me know if you all, hopefully you can hear me at this point, but I'm testing out a couple of different mic options. And I'm also live on YouTube and Instagram. Okay, so I told you the cost of the flight and this, and then once we started peeling back the visa, and we're actually going to Tanzania as well. So both countries require a visa. Both countries require that your passport be valid for like, I think 6 months beyond your travel date. So that's another thing to check before you book a trip. And so the visa to get into Kenya is like $50. But the kicker is, because we're going to Kenya and then we're going on to Tanzania, we are going to be required to present yellow fever vaccination. Yellow fever vaccination, at least in the Atlanta area, ranged anywhere from $300 to $400 per person. So we've already blown past what we spent on a flight. So thankfully, we had that savings on the front end on the flight deal that we found. And the vaccination, I just keep reminding myself it is an investment, because I might go to another country in the future, or even go back to somewhere else in Africa that requires a yellow fever vaccination, and it's gonna cost. So not only am I paying for that vaccination, but my doctor recommended Hep A. Hep A is something that I was recommended to take. Even my first time over to South Africa, I went and it was recommended to take a Hep A shot vaccine. And that was recommended because even you can have a Hep A in the States. I know back when I took it a few years ago, it was some cases in North Georgia So it was recommended. Tetanus was recommended, and malaria. So, like I said, these things start to add up. And so, yeah, these things start to add up. So that is that. And then to go to Tanzania, the visa is $100 per person. So, yeah, knew that going in. And there's an additional cost perhaps if I want to apply for a permit to fly a drone in Kenya, which I'm not going to do. That's a whole nother story in itself. Definitely, if you're looking into drones to travel with, you always want to research drone laws. You want to research just in general laws and like what the requirements are to enter the country, but definitely research drone laws. And I found in Kenya there was a lot of red tape and potentially costs to bring in a drone. So anyway, I'll get into that another day. But that's why I just wanted to go live really quickly to talk about how important it is to find these flight deals. And there's, sometimes it's not going to be to where you want to go to. I know I mentioned flying. We were initially going to be flying into Paris, and then at one point we were just going to consider taking another airline. So we were going to make it work, but it turned out like to upgrade or to change the flight. I wasn't charged any change fees or anything like that. So I just changed it over to Kenya and just paid the difference in the flight. And the flights were still relatively cheap at the time. So that's that. Definitely stay tuned. Follow me wherever you're watching so that you can see what it's going to be like leading up. I've already created videos that I'll be posting on how to apply for the visa. Sometimes, you know, of course, you can apply when you get there and get the visa, but we decided to go ahead and do it ahead of time because one, we don't have to worry about carrying the cash. Like I applied for a visa. I had to get a visa when I went to Zimbabwe, and there was like you have to have, I think it was 20, 50, it's 20 or $50. You have to have the USD. So it was like midway through my trip, but had it been at the end, like I just didn't want to have to keep up with $150 to apply for these visas as we're going. And I've even had it where the person asked me for a different bill because it was the bill I had was like too wrinkled, and they're like, we need another bill. So imagine if I'm traveling to Tanzania, I save a couple hundred for this visa, and then they're like, yeah, you need another bill. So I just didn't want to be bothered with it. I will say on the front end, the visa for Kenya was the one that came the fastest. It came like the next day. And when I was doing my research, the Kenyan president announced that they were no longer requiring visas for tourists. They made that announcement in December, and come to find out this month, they're like, actually, it's not going to be taking place yet. So, what's up, Right Civil Engineering on YouTube? Thanks for watching. And yeah, and then the Tanzania visa took 9 days. They have on the website it could take up to 10. So whenever you're researching, definitely research cost of visas if visas are needed, the cost. If you like, what is the process to apply for a visa, and then like what's the time frame, because you don't want to be applying for a visa like the week that you leave. Of course, like I said, you can get it at the airport, but we just decided to, because they and it was very interesting. You'll see in the videos how I had to take a passport size photo, and all this different stuff. Put in, of course, whenever you do a visa, you need to know where you're staying, like get the exact address. You need to have a return ticket, have that flight information. So yeah, it's a lot, but I say all this to not let it deter you. Just think of all these costs, potential costs, before you book a flight. So if you can find a flight deal, that will help you offset some of these initial costs. And I just want you to be aware. I would never say like, oh, some people are like, oh, I don't want to travel over to any country in Africa because one, it takes a long time. Like this flight is going to take 16 hours with a 4 hour layover. So, total 20 hours. And the vaccinations, all that stuff. Don't let that deter you. Like, this will be my second time over to the continent, and I'm just excited because, like, the first time I went, like, I haven't stopped talking about it. I have a lot of videos on my YouTube channel about Cape Town and Zimbabwe. I went to Victoria Falls. So don't let this stuff deter you, but I wanted you to be aware. And, flight deals is one thing. Don't stop there. If you have some points to pull together, like my husband and I have Marriott points, and Marriott is probably like the chain we don't have a lot of points at. And so we pulled them together, and even Hilton allows you to pull them together. So look at your resources amongst your friends and see how you can pull those points together and help with some savings for the trip. But remember to go to workhardtravelwell.com/freebie. You can check out the link in my bio after you're done watching this to see what like travel discounts so that you can travel because most times you can get a good deal so that you can travel more. Well, thanks for watching, you guys. Make sure you're subscribed to my YouTube channel. Doing a giveaway at 10K subs, just shy of 7,000. So the quicker I get to 10K is when I'll do a giveaway. The last time I did a giveaway, it was of my DJI, a new one though, not mine, but I did a gimbal giveaway for a smartphone, which was like valued at $200 at the time. So it's going to be a big one for 10K on YouTube. So make sure you're subscribed. It's the same name as on Work Hard Travel, or on Instagram, which is Work Hard Travel Well. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.